welcome to the Divine Direction Author Interview Series. I am Benicia Ponder, book coach and publishing strategist mentor for inspirational authors, and it is my pleasure to bring you this author interview series. Back in February, I launched a collaborative book project with 22 amazing individuals sharing their inspirational stories of hope, healing, breakthrough, and transformation. And over the past few months, we had a little snafu there because the project was put on hold due to some personal grieving time that I needed. But now we're back. And I want to say that there is renewed energy and excitement around this project. Divine Direction is so powerful because the stories that are shared in that book really speak life. They speak encouragement, they speak empowerment, and every story you pick up is going to lead you to a new revelation about who God is and who He has called you to be. So that's my excitement about this project. And today I am even more excited because I am introducing to our community one of the co-authors for Divine Direction, Dr. Katherine James, who is just all things wonderful. So Dr. Katherine, I want you to come and introduce yourself to our community. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing and what you're up to these days.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. And thank you, Benicia, for what you do, for how you pave a way for folks to come together and share from our hearts about what it is that God is inspiring us to share. So what am I doing? I don't have it right here in front of me, but as of July, I was awarded the Counselor of the Year award. I am a licensed professional counselor in the state of Michigan. And so I got a national award. And so I'm super excited about that. And I have the privilege of serving. I've been a counselor for over 20 years, a leader in the industry. I am clearly an author. The Divine Direction was my second opportunity to write. My first title is Self-Love, A Gift You Give Yourself. Luke 10:27 is where I park, and it's the idea of love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, mind, soul, and strength. But it's that last part that I call God Papa, that Papa has given me to really share, and that is to love thy neighbor as thyself. It's that thyself part that everything that I do comes back to that. So whether I'm teaching or preaching or speaking or in some kind of instruction, developing content or curriculum, coaching, in the coaching arena, I am known as the self-love transformational coach and freedom conductor, because I use my inner Harriet Tubman to put all forms of bondage on notice that freedom is our birthright.
Yes.
My two most powerful values are, my highest values are God and love. I use those synonymously, and freedom, God and love and freedom. And so I use all of my days to help us to love ourselves well, to love God well. We're going to automatically love others when we got that covered. And then to walk in our freedom in our emotions, in our thinking, in our relationships. And when we do that, we're going to fulfill purpose. So I'm all over all over the place, serving in lots of ways, but always from that vantage point, love and freedom.
I love that. That is so amazing. The freedom conductor, like putting all forms of bondage on notice, like no more.
Look,
no more.
No more. Freedom is available for us.
Yes.
It's available for us. And so the way that Papa uses me to talk about it is it starts with our thinking. You know, as a man thinketh, as a woman thinketh, so are we. What we focus on, what we meditate on, that's going to grow. Sowing and reaping is real, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes to all of that. Yes, our thoughts, what we think. You know, the Bible says that we're transformed when we renew our minds. And
right.
the thoughts that we think actually
Yeah.
create who we are.
Yes.
And I know that a lot of people find themselves in bondage
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
of the thoughts that they
Sure.
allow. And I say allow because you are
Yeah.
not your thoughts. You are not
Right.
the thoughts that you think.
Yeah.
You control your thoughts. And
Yes.
so
Yes.
when you separate your identity from the thoughts that you
Mhm.
think, then you can say, hey, you know
Yeah.
what? I don't have to think that.
Right.
I love
Right.
the idea of putting the bondage on notice. Like,
Yes.
your
Yes.
days are numbered. Like,
Your days are numbered.
I am intentionally moving
Yes.
forward. I love it. Oh,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
amazing.
Right. And so it's like one of the things I say is no harm, no foul. We know what we know when we know it. And
Exactly.
oftentimes we've lived a life not knowing that we get to manage our thoughts and regulate our emotions. We often believe that, like, it's just what we hear people say often is they made me mad.
Hmm.
No, you chose mad. It
Yeah.
didn't feel like a choice, but it
Right.
was a choice. And so when we know, when we own our own emotions and thoughts, we stop other things and people and places that are no longer our puppeteer.
Hmm.
We
Yes,
stay empowered. And
yes,
so absolutely we get to choose it, but we have to first become aware that it's even possible that we can choose. You become aware
yeah.
that you have chose, that says it's possible for you to choose. And now it's a matter of learning new skills, getting some self-awareness and building a new
Mhm.
habit.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And you mentioned the self-love part of being able
Yeah.
to love yourself. Just as
Yeah.
you love others, just as you love God, you are in there too. Don't forget about
Yeah.
about you. And
Yeah.
sometimes a part of that bondage is because
Mhm.
we have trained ourselves to think that we fall last after
Mhm.
everyone else. And I have recently found that I am no good to anyone else if I am empty, if I am drained, if I am depleted. I can't help anybody else. So I have to
Yeah.
fill me up first before I can even begin to do that work that God has called me to do.
Yeah.
If I don't have somebody to pour into me, if I don't take care of myself, have my resting times, eat
Mhm.
properly, exercise,
Right.
all those things that encompass loving myself,
Mhm.
then I'm no good to anyone else.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that as well.
Thank you. Thank you. So the way that Papa has given it to me is that we are to live from the runneth over place. The
Yes.
23rd Psalms, and my cup runneth over. So in that is we've lived a life where we, particularly women, we've served from not even half of a cup, but like the dregs of the cup.
The
The drag,
fumes.
the fumes, right? The crusted up stuff at the bottom of the cup. And we're
Yes.
still giving. Like we're still, yeah, I'll come. Yes, I'll do it. I have room.
Yes.
Like it's been crusted for weeks, for
Yes.
months. There's no
Yes.
nourishment in there, and we're still giving.
Yes.
And really, our responsibility, because there's only one of us. There's not a
Mhm.
duplicate. No one can repeat what we're here to do. Our responsibility is to serve not from the cup at all. We all have our own. We've been blessed. Everyone, every
Mhm.
human, every beloved has been blessed with their own cup. Our
Yes.
responsibility is to serve from the saucer, the running over place. No one else has a responsibility to pour into us. Now, it's a blessing when it happens, but it's our responsibility to pour, to live
Mhm.
primarily from this place. Now, we'll have times, right? But it's supposed to be the exception that we serve from the cup, not the rule.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That reminds me, my church has a verse speaking um kind of like spoken word
Okay.
for the
Okay.
church, and they
Sure.
have this one selection they do called there's a line, I'm not even sure what the whole thing is, but it says
Okay.
I'm drinking from my saucer because my cup has overflowed. And I thought about that
Oh,
when you said that running over place,
yes.
that just resonated with me
Love
so
that.
much because
Mm,
we are to serve from that place of
that's right.
abundance, not lack,
Yes.
a place of
Yes.
overflowing, because
Yes.
and that's the best stuff. That's right there is the best stuff. And we get new stuff all the time, but that
Yes.
overflowing is because when I have this picture in my mind when you say that, of a cup.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
we already have the feel. We already have the
Yeah.
foundation. We're already satisfied.
Yeah.
And then as you pour more into it, what
Mm.
other people are getting, they're not getting that foundation. They're
Mm.
getting the new stuff that's coming
Yeah.
out, so that you
Yeah.
still remain
Yeah.
filled and you remain nourished. I
Yeah.
just have this whole image in
Yeah.
my mind
I
that's
love it.
coming
I
to me,
love it.
but
Yes.
it's so amazing. And so, for those of you in our community who are looking at this interview and experiencing Dr. Katherine as I am right now, and are feeling that in a place where it's just like, I feel drained, I feel depleted, I am
Yeah.
encouraging you
Yes.
to fill up.
Mhm.
To fill up, and maybe you need to go away for a while. Maybe it's a couple of moments during the day. And sometimes, Dr. Katherine, we need to fill up every day. It's a
Every
daily
day.
thing.
It's daily.
Um, yeah, it's daily. And so it's not necessarily have to go on a whole 7-day retreat or weekend
Sure.
retreat. It could
Sure.
be 30 minutes in the morning, or 5 minutes in the morning, or on your way to work as you're driving, you just shut off everything else and say, God, fill
Yes.
me, and just listen
Yeah.
to praise and worship. Whatever it
Yeah.
is, get
Yeah.
that fill up. I just had
Yeah.
to say that because I know for me, I've needed that message
Mhm.
um, so often over the past few months. I've needed that message of feel yourself first before you
Yeah.
pour out. And
Yeah.
I'm still learning it. I definitely am still learning it, but it's been a lesson that has really spoken to me so many times.
Mhm.
And one of the things, in your chapter of divine direction, you talk about forgiveness, and
Yes.
even forgiveness as a form of self love and connecting with
Mhm.
others. So, how did you learn that lesson?
Yeah. So you know how all of us are uniquely gifted, and with the creation that Abba is just blessed us with, as we got his precious breath,
Yeah.
we got something unique in us that no one else got. And then that combination, that's our, feeling the piece of the puzzle, of humanity's puzzle. And part of my combination was this kind of belief in myself, and not having the tools, but I would constantly come back to some kind of internal dialogue that says, okay, Kathy, let's figure it out. Let's figure it out.
Figured out.
I was like, okay, we're here. What are we gonna do now? That kind of thing. And so what I discovered is that I thought the way that I talked to myself was normal, until I found out that there were a lot of my friends, my girlfriends particularly, who didn't talk to themselves the way that I did. And so fast forward in a marriage, and I have this abundance of love and don't have a lot of instruction about how to be a wife. And here comes this little one, and I fall in love with the little one and kick the big one out. Just, I had no idea. Nobody told me. And my honey was lonely and he was suffering, but he was a grown man. And how do you tell your wife that she didn't, traded you for the baby? Who says that? Well, I read later in the Essence magazine that this was the thing. Black mamas have a tendency to do with their sons, right?
Mhm.
I was like, why didn't anybody tell me? Like, I got all these Black mamas in my family. And so I realized that I made a huge mistake, and it almost cost us. It did cost us, actually. It cost us. But one of the things that I know now that I did, I didn't know, I wasn't consciously doing this. I just kept getting back up. I kept trying to figure out how to fix it. And I couldn't talk to me negatively. Like, I couldn't beat myself up if I was going to be available, and have what I needed in order to help us. And so I would beat myself up a little bit because I didn't know what I know now. So I would beat myself up a little bit, but I would stop it more rapidly than other people around me would stop it. And then I just had to let it go. I had to let it go. I had to be okay with the fact that I made the mistake and try to right the wrong, try to go back and fix what I could. And it took us a long while. I mean, I really set us on a path, that was really tumultuous. It took us a long while to recover. And because we were young, we were 15 and 17 when we started dating. 25 when this little one was born. So we have now been together, 40, almost 50 years.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. I'm grateful. I am so grateful.
Yes.
I'm so grateful. But it was a significant lesson learned. And now what I know, it was part of my gift. That self-love was part of what Papa imparted into me in creation. And that was me, that love in me, love of me coming up saying, you can do it. It's okay. Yes, own it. Right? You did it. And this is the message that I give to folk now. My 24-year-old did not know what my 59-year-old knows. Mm-hmm. I would never do that today, but that's because I know it. And so she deserves some grace because she didn't know that. And so it's imperative that when we look back at her, we don't look back at her with, you should have known, look what you did, those kinds of things with, that we look back at her and say, you know what? You did what you knew to do. You did the best that you could. Now, we still got some consequences. We still need to work on the consequences, but we're going to love you. We're going to love you so that we can love you today. You see? Yeah.
I love that because what you learned was that it had to start with forgiving yourself first.
Yeah, that's right.
You couldn't heal the relationship until you loved on yourself and treated yourself well enough to be able to say, hey, you know what? It's okay. I'm going to show grace to you. Which is so amazing because a lot of times we think, again, it goes back to giving to others. We have to give to others, but we can't give to others what we don't have. We can't. No. And so it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Thank you. Yeah, it really is the whole airplane analogy. Put the oxygen mask on you first. You first. Yeah, that's one of my mantras. You first. You first is not narcissistic. It's not saying I don't care about other people. It's being responsible.
Right.
Because no one else is with you the way you're with you. And if you don't take care of you, like you said, the nutrition, the physical, the mental, the spiritual, the relational, all of it, if you don't take care of you, that's you being irresponsible for the magnificent creation that Papa took time to form.
Yes. All right. So amazing. I love this. And it's so amazing that I put together this author interview series because I wanted to put a spotlight on the phenomenal contributions that each author made to the book. But you all are powerhouses, like just, oh my goodness, it is so much wealth, so much wisdom and insight poured into you all that I love it. I love what you are sharing and putting out into the world. So Dr. Katherine, you're the freedom conductor, you're a self-love coach. What do you have going on now that our community can engage in?
Yeah, so I invite the community first to join me on Facebook Live every morning, Monday through Friday, 5:40 to 6 o'clock. It's inspired conversations with Dr. Katherine E. James. I share whatever it is that Papa has given me. We usually start off with a topic at the top of the year, and then top of the week, Monday, and it unfolds each day. So we've got that, but I have some services that I offer that are around this idea of growing in self-love. So I have first of all, you can go to drkatherineejames.com and look at all of the things that are there. But a couple of things that I'd like to highlight. One is I do a live coaching call every other Saturday, where it's a group of like-minded individuals who come together and determined to live the life, like to live their highest, fullest, and most truest expression of themselves. And so we do that. And then Papa's given me this idea that has blown my mind. and it's called the Self-Love Queen's Adventure. And we did the
Mm.
first one in May. It was my prayer was that every Queen's Adventure would be a before and after for the women.
Mhm.
And so we had women in their 30s all the way up until I think their 80s. There's a
Oh,
span
goodness.
of women, 20 women. We spent 4 days, 4 full days, where we just really, the goal was to come and just to celebrate being a woman and to honor ourselves and to love on, to demonstratively love on each other. Even if we didn't know each other before coming, but we left with sisterhood. It was off the lake. Um, and
Oh,
um, and so I
nice.
will do that eventually 4 times a year throughout the world, taking women throughout the world, cultivating love for sister interactions, honoring our souls cry courageously, being women unapologetically, but the little girl in us, letting her out to play.
I love that. So you definitely have to let me know when the
I
next one
will.
is.
I
Because I hate I
will.
missed the one in May, but I probably wasn't in a frame of mind
Yeah.
to be there.
Yeah.
But when you said that, I was like, my heart was just like, I want to be there. I want to be
Yes, yes,
there.
yes, yes. So I will make sure I let you know. Life is so precious. Each day is a gift. And, things and lives and situations would have us stuck in our head, ruminating on what didn't happen, what's supposed to happen, what might happen, all of those kinds of things.
Mhm.
And if we could just take a breath, like you said earlier, a practice every day, even if it's just 5 minutes, 5 minutes of silence every day. If you do it consistently, you'll have the benefit eventually of 25 minutes of silence every day. In that space of silence, and this is what I talked about this morning on the live, in that space of silence, we can get inspiration that can lead to inspired intentions,
Mhm.
right? And from that intention, we take the next step. And miraculous things manifest because we've received a download. But we
Mhm.
don't get downloads if we're busy, if we're noisy, we're always in crowds. Do you
Mhm.
see? And so
Yeah.
that the Queen's Adventure was developed for me coming in this space every morning starting in January. Papa literally hand spoon fed me the adventure. Every
Mhm.
inspired action was manifested in May. It was transformative.
Excited. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. I am blessed. There's another word to say, but I am blessed from this experience. And so, for those of you who are catching this interview, I pray that you remember Dr. Catherine's words. And I want to allow you, Dr. Catherine, to give any final um, words of encouragement. And I also want to talk about what's coming up for Divine Direction. This author interview series is a part of a grand relaunch. So for those of you who have not yet picked up a copy of the book, I don't know where you've been, but you can go over to Amazon and pick up a copy of the book. It's at a reduced price right now. So go over, pick it up, and be blessed by all of the contributions and the stories in this book. We are having another inspirational devotionals collaborative book project coming soon. And so, Dr. Catherine, share share with the audience your experience participating in this first inaugural
Yeah.
inspirational devotionals book project.
Yeah. First of all, it was foolproof. Let me just say you are gifted, you're
Oh,
skilled,
thank you.
right? You're anointed to do this. And so if there's someone out there who's never written a book, right? Then you really did each step of the way, from your emails to all of the very clear, detailed instructions. Benicia even provided us with like the process, the format. Do you say if we followed the format, we were going to meet, because we're writing as in writers, you could be all over the place. And then
Good.
there was one email I had missed because I didn't pay attention. And I started writing. Then I went back. I was like, oh, this is so much simpler than I was about to make it. Here she's giving us the steps. Okay, excellent. And the whole process, and it was just a really delightful, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to come together with 22 other authors. And then, even the other part where you did on the back end, you just said, okay, all that's done. Here's your, do your contribution in the way you like to, but no pressure, but a tremendous opportunity. So I'm grateful for you flowing in your gifts.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm excited. This project was super amazing because it was the very first one. It was something that God placed on my heart. And because it went so well, I'm excited to do even more. There are so many stories, so many people out there with messages inside of them. And God has put it on my heart to help as many of them get them out into the world and so they can let their light shine. So Dr. Katherine, is there anything else you want to share? Any final words of wisdom you want to share with our community?
I just really want to share. So there's a statement that I say that at the moment, Abba gave us our breath. We forfeited the right to not be amazing. None of us, if we are living a life less than amazing, then and then we're living a counterfeit life, a counterfeit, because no one else in the entire universe got the portion of Abba's breath that you got. No one else. You and I have our own unique portion. No one else has ever gotten it and never will get it. And because of that, oftentimes we don't fulfill certain purposes or believe that we can. But I believe because it's mistaken identity, we don't realize that no one else can do what we can do. No one else can do it. And when I realized that I got that portion of breath, that unique portion, then I began to get the courage to say, whatever I do is going to be sufficient because no one else can do it from this divine place. So that I just invite people to really walk out in courage and assurance that they're sufficient.
Oh, nothing more than that. That is a wrap. I believe that if nothing else, go back and listen to that last couple of minutes of this interview because that sums up everything. You are amazing and phenomenal. Thank you so much, Dr. Katherine, for sharing with us. And thank you for all of you who are tuning into this interview. I'm Benicia Ponder from inspirationalauthors.com. I pray that you will continue to connect and engage because you have a story inside of you that the world needs to hear. Because remember, you are the light of the world, and it's time for you to let your light shine. Bye-bye.